My name is Felipe Reinhardt and I'm very honored to present the second annual Fetisov Awards.
I would like to thank everyone who is involved in the award and who strive for it to become a phenomenon within the international journalistic community. You, the writers of the winning publications, are heroes. Today, it is difficult for you and all journalists who seek to express the truth and objective opinion. You are hunted, persecuted, killed and vilified. Many in society men consider journalism to be a rudimentary profession. But I want to make this statement. If human nature looks within itself with honesty and understanding of the inevitability of the progress of enlightenment, it will know that a liberated, honest, and informed journalism is perhaps the most vital of the Czech governments and populist crowds, the delusional, corrosive, and self-serving goals.
An enormous challenge for us to find a response. But we find a response in the journalism that we have witnessed in this year's Fetisov Journalism Awards. There is a range of excellence in journalism, which is a tribute not just to those journalists themselves, but to the way in which they have carried out their work. The collaborative cross-border journalism, the use of communications technology to tell these stories, has been exemplary. There's no doubt at all that all of our colleagues who receive awards tonight have made a great contribution to reinforcing the simple truth that journalism at its best not only serves a public purpose, it makes a major contribution to the eradication of poverty, ignorance, and fear.
Journalism today during pandemic faces new challenges, but at the same time shows that journalism combat it and they stand for honest and responsible reporting despite all difficulties. The awards and best publications demonstrate that journalism struggles for justice and truth, and that journalism is a public good and public value. It gives us new courage and optimism.
When it came to going through the award submissions this year, it was incredible to see the level of work that was being done even during the difficult year of the pandemic. Whether reporters were covering the pandemic itself or other stories, they were dealing often with difficult situations to begin with. Added to that, for many of them, the conditions of the pandemic. And it was incredible to see what they were able to achieve and just the incredibly high level of journalism being done.
Recognition by the Fetisov Journalism Awards helps us to take these important stories to another level, and it supports journalists who work tirelessly and usually without recognition to expose injustices and push for the protection of our environment.
We are so grateful for the recognition, especially as we promote collaborative journalism.
It's very important for us to receive an award together with outstanding winners of this year.
This award is good recognition for my team and I at the Foundation for Investigative Journalism, FJA. It means that we can hold our head high and say we do some quality work. I'm dedicating this award to everyone who has been on the wrong side of justice.
Thank you so much for this award. It's really something that will support an independent journalist like me and so many others who have won today. The ones that are truly deserving of recognition are the lawyers, activists, poets, and local journalists, and so many ordinary people who helped me and are still helping the victims of this toxic politics. I dedicate my award to these true, relentless keepers of democracy.
As journalists, our job doesn't just end at telling stories. We also have a responsibility to ensure that our work is deep enough to create change.
I dedicate this one to all the victims of the war and weapons in the world. And I dedicate this one to my mother.
We would like to say a big thank you to the Fetisov Foundation for recognizing and incentivizing and awarding investigative journalism like this that so many of us colleagues give so much time and heart into.
I hope this will be an opportunity to increase awareness of the issue discussed in our investigation. I also found how terrible what the press freedom is suffering almost every part of the world.
Thank you most of all to all of the journalists gathered here and to all of the journalists out there in the world for doing this important work, often under hostile and difficult conditions. Thank you again to the Fetisov Journalism Awards. Your support for journalism at this moment is invaluable.
We are extremely grateful for this award and that the Fetisov Journalism jury helps by shedding light on this topic.
I think in today's world, journalists are being challenged. Such awards and recognitions help us in keeping our spirits high.
We want to use the funds to support some of the organizations that are helping migrants along the way in this very, very difficult journey. But we also want to use some of these funds to continue our reporting, to do more investigative reporting and more collaborative reporting around the issue of migrants and human rights and civil rights.
More than 50 journalists from 10 different countries got together to make a Land of Resistance, a collaborative cross-border journalism project that explored a paradox that was of deep concern to us.
Latin America is the continent where defenders kill the most. Today, the Acuerdo de Escazú enters into force, a treaty that obligates states to guarantee rights for the protection of the environment.
Like many of my colleagues here know, it's that perseverance and digging with boots on the ground that is key to bring stories that truly matter to a global audience and make change happen. Thank you again for recognizing this and for supporting this important push for transparency.
I've had a chance now to read many of the other submissions and have been truly impressed and humbled by the risks taken and the scale and scope of all of these projects. Echoing what others have said tonight, this is a moment when funding and resources for this kind of work are in short supply, especially for freelancers. So it's critical that we support and celebrate it.
Today, there are serious concerns about the future of independent journalism. But at the same time, there is also a lot of hope as we look around and see journalism is reinventing itself in order to face today's challenges. And tonight we had some wonderful examples of how journalists have really worked in order to bring out amazing stories. You know, we see journalists who stand up to their oppressors. We see powerful, independent, occasionally online news media, which are supported exclusively by their communities of readers, promoting trust, transparency, accountability, and a profound sense of mission. And we see a new solidarity among journalists and a desire to work together within and across the national borders to produce the best of journalism. So it is really in this context that the Fetisov Journalism Awards is more needed than ever.